Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Sustainability Summit Week 2020. I hope you've all found the engagements thought-provoking, and I hope you've taken some insights and notes. Of course, we did mention earlier that not all the questions can be answered, but at least it does provoke and stimulate some discussions moving forward. Introducing the sustainable energy segment of the seminar, we have Dean Alborough, who's the head of environmental, social, and governance at Old Mutual Alternative Investments. So thank you very much, Dean. You'll be kickstarting the session before our panel discussion, and we appreciate that you have found the time to join us this afternoon. Over to you.
Thank you. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to the Sustainable Energy Seminar as part of the Sustainability Summit Program 2020, sponsored by Old Mutual Alternative Investments. As mentioned, my name is Dean Alborough, and I lead the environmental, social, and governance practice in Old Mutual Alternative Investments. Old Mutual Alternative Investments is deeply committed to being part of the solution for sustainable energy delivery in South Africa. Having invested in 2 gigawatts of contracted capacity with 28 renewable energy facilities, including 10 wind farms, 15 solar PV farms, 1 hydropower station, and 2 off-grid companies. Our investments produced just over 3,000 gigawatt hours of renewable energy in 2019. This is the equivalent of powering about 1 million middle-income homes on clean energy. This clean energy production created a carbon offset of about 3.14 million tons of CO2 equivalent. Our funds have also invested in thermal gas-fired power across the continent. The thinking around energy transition to a more sustainable energy mix in emerging markets is not just a conversation for us. We are firmly engaged in driving toward a sustainable energy development outcome as a fund manager. So what is meant by sustainable energy? I would say that one way to consider sustainable energy is that it is the sourcing, generation, delivery, and waste management of energy in a manner that protects the planet and benefits the majority of peoples equitably for many, many generations to come. Key questions to be considered in terms of South Africa's sustainable energy include: where does South Africa sit today in terms of a sustainable energy system? What would need to change to attain a sustainable energy system? How can this change be effected equitably and justly? How long will these actions take to implement? And will it be fast enough? South Africa released its updated integrated resource plan in 2019, providing a detailed roadmap for government's energy mix up to 2030. Can South Africa meet its obligations under the Paris Agreement with the peak plateau decline model envisaged in the 2019 IRP, which was planned out pre-COVID-19 and the subsequent economic impacts? The expectations globally of climate change have also moved on. 2019 saw the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change publish the special report on global warming of 1.5 degrees Celsius. The report has been based on around 6,000 peer-reviewed publications, most of these published in the last few years. The report confirms that climate change is already affecting people, ecosystems, and livelihoods. According to the IPCC, limiting warming to 1.5 degrees is possible, but would require unprecedented transitions in all aspects of society. Overall, the report shows there are clear benefits to keeping warming to 1.5 degrees rather than the previously thought safe limit of 2 degrees Celsius. The report shows that recent trends in emissions and the level of international ambition indicated by nationally determined contributions under the Paris Agreement deviate from a trajectory that would limit warming to well below 2 degrees. According to the IPCC, without increased and urgent mitigation ambition in the coming years, leading to a sharp decline in greenhouse gas emissions by 2030, global warming will surpass the 1.5 degrees in the following decades leading to irreversible loss of the most fragile ecosystems and crisis after crisis for the most vulnerable people and societies. So can South Africa meet these global expectations on climate action, being historically one of the highest greenhouse gas emitters in the world, currently sitting between 15th to 13th position of the highest emitters? If we consider that the current state of our energy system is unsustainable, then to reach a sustainable energy outcome will require change and significant change. We will need to understand all the trade-offs that need to be made. We will also need to collaborate, governing bodies, civil society, the public and private markets. Multiple skill sets will need to come together. This is not just an engineering or a financial challenge to solve. And I think ultimately, if we are to achieve a sustainable energy outcome, we'll need a deep empathy for all peoples affected by this shared outcome. We will all share in this transition and outcome in some form, and we will need to support those individuals and their families who may experience negative impacts from such a transition. Today, I'm very excited to welcome you all to two very topical panels. Firstly, a panel on a roadmap for South Africa's energy transition, and secondly, a panel on renewable energy as a driver of economic recovery. Given the current state of the global climate crisis and the year we've had so far, with COVID-19 pandemic significantly increasing the economic challenges South Africa is facing, these two topics are central to our sustainable development decision-making. I would also like to welcome our esteemed guests as panelists. We are very fortunate to have two panels of highly respected and knowledgeable individuals